my name is Andrew, and I'm going to talk to you guys about the Boxer engine. And a Boxer engine is just an engine that's, the pistons are laid horizontal, and they punch away from each other, kind of like a boxer. That's where it gets its name from. Carl Benz was the man who invented the Boxer engine. He was also the guy that first made the very first car. That's it right there. And that was in 1885. He also is the founder of Mercedes-Benz. Probably heard of that. It's the oldest car company, still around today. These are the three most common types of engines. Here we have the Boxer, or horizontally opposed engine, the inline, or the pistons go up and down, and the V-type, where they're slightly angled out, like that. Comparison between the three different kinds of engines. There are, the Boxer is lower and more compact, has a lower center of gravity. The inline type is tall and has a higher center of gravity. And the V-type is a lower center of gravity because of the angles, but it's still higher than the Boxer type. And the Boxer properties, since it has horizontal movement of the pistons, it can be placed lower in the car. And since it has a lower center of gravity, this makes it more symmetrical. If you cut the engine in half, both sides are going to be pretty much exactly the same. It'll have two pistons on one side, two pistons, or 3 and 3 if it's a 6-cylinder. And since it lays flat, it can connect directly to the transmission and be completely smooth flow throughout the whole car. And the center of gravity between the two, this is a picture of a Boxer engine. It's mounted lower. You can see it's more shorter and more wider. It's like if you wanted to balance a plate on your finger, that would be like the center of gravity for that. Inline type is much taller. It'd be more like balancing a cup on your finger. And a V-type would be more like balancing a bowl on your finger. So this one would have lower center of gravity, higher, and in the middle of the two. Real world applications. It is used in airplanes, motorcycles, and cars. And this is a picture of a motorcycle with a 2-cylinder Boxer engine. They used this in motorcycles back when they had 4 cooling systems. So these were air-cooled. And since they stuck out further, it was easier for the air to cool the engines so they could not overheat. And positives, has better fuel economy according to Subaru. They say that the less friction and less moving parts, because they're balanced, gives them better fuel economy. And since they have a lower center of gravity, that's better for handling. If you're turning and you have a low center of gravity, it's much easier to turn as opposed to a high center of gravity. And because they have less vibration from less moving parts and they cancel each other out since they're on opposite sides, it has a longer life than other kind of engine. Safety. They're designed because they're so low in the engine bay that they can go, when you get in the front crash, they'll go directly underneath the car, and they won't go into the cabin like other types of engines would. And negatives. A lot of people say the routine maintenance for these vehicles is harder because the engines are mounted so low. You actually have to lift the engine up to work on it. And even things like changing spark plugs or wires, which take 15 minutes in a normal car because they're right on top, these are on the side and most likely under other components, so it's much harder to get to, and you might even have to pay a mechanic to do that. Development and manufacturing of the engines is longer. They have to take twice as long to build because they have to build one half and then the other half. It's not like they could just build it all at the same time. So it takes twice as long to make, and then when they're developing it, it's more engineering because they have to be balanced. internally. They don't have to add other parts to make them balance like other cars do. And they have limited market use. So there's only 2 car manufacturers that currently sell boxer engines in their cars. Those are Subaru and Porsche. And a lot of mechanics might not know what you need to do for your car or how the balancing works because it's completely different. So if you have to find a mechanic that knows what they're doing, and only 2 manufacturers make them, so you have to either go to the dealer or find somebody that's specialized in